And he was a dumb wrestler that nobody liked, but who turned into a good actor that everyone likes. Like life's funny like that. Now
Now no one
nobody
knows.
likes Hulk Hogan.
Now no one knows who you're talking about because I hit record right when you started using the
Yeah,
pronouns. I
Hulk
probably think you're
Hogan.
talking about Dave Batista.
Hulk Hogan now is like a born again Christian, I think. So people are gonna like him even less.
Oh, okay. Well, that's his PR campaign or something.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's like you didn't see that. You didn't see that sex tape. That didn't happen.
Anyway, I do have to like run out the door in like 48 minutes. 48
All
of
right,
the
let's
minutes.
go.
So let's
Let's
go.
do it. Welcome to Podcast 1999, the podcast about Space 1999. I'm your immortal host, Mark Malik.
I'm your immortal host, Matt Comages.
Wow, I'm going to teach you about death today.
Is that a threat? Well, you are wearing all black, it seems. Yeah,
Yeah,
like just like this guy.
imagine if my like sleeves and pant legs were super big flared and I kept making weird choices.
I guess the end of eternity is an airlock then.
Yeah. I don't think he's dead.
Okay. Yeah, just he's gonna be floating in space for a while. So,
He's waiting for season 3.
did I tell you about the game Sunburn that recently is reinstallable on my iPad? There was a few years where it like this because of the updates, iOS updates, I couldn't play it, but they finally fixed it. Anyway, Sunburn. You know what I'm talking
Wow.
about?
Well, no, but I mean, I have a bunch of games I loved on my first iPhone that I can't ever play again, and that no one updates because people don't care. They got your dollar and left.
Well, someone
But
cared
that's
about
nice
this
that
one.
someone. That's nice that someone cared. That's great.
Well, that's what the game's about because your ship does like blows up in space and the crew is just floating around. And as the captain, they don't want to die alone, so you have to jetpack around with your oxygen and jump off. You know, it's a gravity game, and you have to get everyone in a
So you,
chain, and then you all fly into the sun together.
oh, you die with them. That's nice. That's great.
That's the whole point of the game. Not that you're going to live, just that you're all going to die together in space. So
I wish the movie Sunshine had done that.
yeah, that was when they did go into the sun, I guess. So there was that.
Yeah, but not before there was some. Anyway, I've complained about that movie more than enough on podcasts.
Mm.
So today's episode, End of Eternity. How about some trivia
I
then?
thought you were just going to start doing that, to be honest.
How about I start doing it and then interrupt myself by telling you what I'm going to do?
What are you going to do?
Today's trivia. Today's episode is 16th in production order. Ray Austin is back to direct. He'll be back for 2 more in season 1 and 2 more in season 2. Johnny Byrne co-wrote this with the Andersons. You last saw his work in Voyager's Return. He was unsatisfied with the script because he felt like the episode wasn't long enough for him to include any motivation for Balor's evil deeds. He had plans to bring the character back if the show had continued for a 3rd season. However, this was not to be. Another person dissatisfied with the script was story consultant Christopher Penfold, and there was so much friction between him and ITC New York, who were pushing for a Monster of the Week formula, that Jerry Anderson demoted Penfold to staff writer and gave Johnny Byrne the story consultant role. So we have a little bit of a shake-up here from here onwards, or at least who knows? Who knows what'll happen? Um,
Dramatica personas.
yeah, our main guest star this week is Peter Bowles as Balor. He was born in 1936 in London and had a long career on the stage and screen, often being cast as a villain because of how tall he was. He found his greatest success a few years after this in the hit TV comedy series To the Manor Born, which I've never heard of, but hey, I'm not British. Aside from that, you can see him in Rumpole of the Bally, Try This One for Size, and A Day in the Death of Joe Egg. He passed away from cancer in 2022.
Also the blow up.
Yes, he was in Blow Up. I
Yeah,
forgot to put
sorry.
that in.
That doesn't have a the, does it? It's just blow up. Okay.
No, I think the Blow Up is something different.
That might be the
It's
diploma
something
thing.
you have to ask for. That's Blowout. Guest starring as Mike Baxter is James Smiley. Born in 1944 in Scotland, but raised in Australia, he's had a successful acting career in both countries. You can catch him in programs such as Red Dwarf, Final Contract, Death on Delivery, and in 28 episodes of Prisoner. Finally, we have Judith Hepburn as the uncredited murdered nurse. She was born in 1948 in Malaysia, and yes, that is her real birth name. At this time, she was married to Anton Phillips, who played Dr. Matthias. She doesn't have a long resume, but she also plays an uncredited nurse in 3 more upcoming season 1 episodes of Space 1999. So we'll find out soon if she dies in all those episodes too.
So she died, but she got better.
Yeah. Yeah. Science fiction. She's immortal. Ah, okay.
Oh, that's
So
that's
hell,
that. That's that. Okay.
that's that. How about a summary?
Sure.
Okay, the Alphans have found an asteroid with signs of a breathable atmosphere inside. After finding a door, they immediately blow it off with explosives, accidentally wounding pilot Mike Baxter and seemingly killing an alien inside of a small room full of creepy art. They then take the alien to Alpha Medical, where he's pronounced dead. However, it soon turns out that he is not dead. He has regenerative powers, and his name is Balor. He says he was cast out of the Society of Immortals for trying to show them that death was important. Alpha grants Balor refuge. Meanwhile, he visits Baxter, who is upset that his injuries will prevent him from being able to be a pilot anymore. Balor offers to help Baxter. Meanwhile, when Koenig comes to check on him, Baxter attacks him with a model airplane and then dies, frozen in a horrible expression. But Balor heals Koenig's wounds while he's unconscious. Koenig confronts Balor because Baxter's corpse looks so much like his paintings. Balor admits that he's going to take over Alpha and torture everyone, whether Koenig likes it or not. Koenig then comes up with a plan to trick Balor into the airlock, and the other Alphans manage to eject him. As they leave the area, they blow up the asteroid, but then as they get farther away, the asteroid begins to regenerate.
Bum, bum, bum. Okay.
Dun, 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 dun.
So that's where I guess that was a cliffhanger for the season 3 that never came.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he deserves that. He deserves to just wait for season 3, whatever happens.
Well, you old Victor was like, it was all groovy, baby, because like I said, every episode he just gets like a little bit more Austin Powers, like he's getting too relaxed on set or something, you know.
Yeah, it'd be cool if the last episode of season 1 he just gets really really relaxed and then just fades out.
Yeah, that would be a good character arc. I think that makes a good character arc, right? Um,
It's not
so
like it wouldn't happen
I
in the
know we
show.
I know we try to keep the language relatively clean on this show, but Balor is basically like the perfect asshole.
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
uh
I mean, he
he's
he
a
deserves that title. Like you said, they were trying to give him more motivation for his evil and stuff. I was like, no, no, less, just no motivation was his best.
this to me is sort of proof that Nick Cage didn't really happen in a vacuum, because this guy makes so many weird acting choices and it's just totally compelling. He is fully aware that his costume is huge and that he's super tall and he keeps just sort of taking up tons of space, and they're keep and some of the best fight choreography we've seen in the series so far, and he's just like destroying multiple dudes while music plays and then no sound effects. So it's like
He's,
they're trying to do a
I definitely
montage.
like the beatdown music.
It's great. I this is one of the dumbest episodes and I love it. It's one of my favorite ones so far because it's just straight ahead ridiculous. And he's
Yeah,
a madman.
like I think you liked more than I did. What is the guy gets possessed by aliens and starts killing everyone episode?
Force of life, is that it?
Force of life. Thank you. Like
Mhm.
yeah, like that one tried to put in too much emotion and stuff. Where this one is just like, let's have like episode 4 or just original Star Wars Darth Vader. I was like, get this guy a helmet, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. You know, he doesn't need a helmet because he kept making these weird faces. It's like it's just I didn't even I couldn't really take notes about all the weird things he made. Sometimes he's just like, ah, just be, um,
Do you think
yeah.
you'd be more at home on
I
the
think
with
the
Sam
guy,
Neill on the Event Horizon ship, or with the Cenobites and
yeah,
Hellraiser? What's more of his crowd?
this is an event. This is feels like a retelling of Event Horizon from the future, featuring a crazy person. Yeah, it's just it's like well, Sam Neill. Obviously, most people seen him in Jurassic Park, so it's sort of a swerve for him to, and I think he was kind of genuinely a sort of a nice person at the beginning of that movie, and then turns into a hell maniac, which I think they cut out the explanation along with all the other footage in that. But I think this
Three
is
hour cut's just amazing.
yeah.
Probably.
But I mean the the part in this episode where they just flash to all the artwork and play that scary music and just like kind of hit you in the face with it is as good as anything in Event Horizon. Like it's as effective.
Yeah, my notes are like, is Baylor going to end up being a low rent space seed con? You know, which
I
he
mean,
basically is.
this series is wall to wall low rent cons, right?
And then
He's just like a lot of other people we've seen.
and then
Just
Baylor offered his people gothic horror. That
yeah, yeah. He taught them how to be torn up.
would you all like to be tortured to death? Like, you know, once an entire planet like jettisons you, you might want to reconsider your lot in life.
Well, you know that I met a bunch of people who don't have any friends and they think that it's everyone else's fault. It's always theirs.
I
If
did
you're listening to this, then I don't apologize. Then
I
you feel like that.
and he is a man who will beat you to death with a model airplane, an old timey model airplane. So that was cool.
He'll make another guy do it, and then he'll kill him, and then he'll be like, "Eh." That was so odd. Apparently, a lot of that footage was still was like cut because it was too violent. Like that
Oh,
scene
that's
had a
too
bunch of
bad.
actual beating down.
I'll
That's
have to
what
see if
it's a
my
weird thing where it's POV. I think it's on YouTube somewhere.
yeah, I was about to say I'll have to see if it's on my mega set Space Night, because I
Um,
do end up watching these things on YouTube most of the time because I'm lazy. I don't
yeah,
actually pull out. I mean, they're all in HD on YouTube, so why don't bother with pulling out my discs?
but the actual actor is, I think it's basically all him. Like part of his bio on IMDb is that he disliked being a sitcom actor, and he wanted to do Shakespeare. But
So I wanted to be an
here's
S&M drama queen.
a quote directly from him. It says the classics are done by the big companies or by the big directors from the big companies, and for reasons best known to them, I have never been asked. So he's sort of like got a chip on his shoulder that he's not doing Shakespeare, but he's like a weird maniac. you know
I guess there's roles in Shakespeare that fit weird maniacs.
I mean, he could no, he could do it,
Put
but
him in the Tempest. That would work.
he could do it. But it's like what's on display here is he seems kind of and the usually I don't know. I don't want to like take shots at this guy because he's genuinely compelling, and I'd like to see something else with him in it. But he sort of has that thing of taking himself too seriously and yet having crazy, baffling choices like all the way. Just sort of
He
like
makes
somebody.
like 8 choices each scene. Yes.
Like I feel like he almost deserves a reputation that Shatner got. It's like if you watch Shatner, and you realize that so many impressions of Shatner are kind of drawn out more than he actually is. But I'm not saying that he's not a weirdo. But
Which actor makes the most choices? Because Nick
Nick
Cage,
Cage,
I was sitting here wondering if Benicio del Toro makes more choices than Nick Cage, although he doesn't show up in as many films. Because apparently in The
um,
Usual Suspects, they're like, "Could you stop talking that way?" So, "Oh, I'm talking this way." Like the whole voice thing, that was a choice he made.
well, I feel like he kind of makes this the amount of choices he makes he's pulling from a small pool of choices
Mm.
where Nick Cage just like part of why I just think he's possibly the greatest living actor is because
And
he can
Immortal.
actually well he can possibly like Color Out of Space played he played a total nerd and then played a maniac and he did it he most people could not have done either of those things as well as he did it's
True.
just like sometimes you might argue that he made the wrong choice but it's generally compelling.
Yeah, the charm of that particular movie is you watch the first half and you're like, why did they hire Nick Cage? And then the second half, like, oh, this is why they hired Nick Cage.
Yeah, I kind of expected what I got, which I
Yeah, I guess
enjoyed
you
very much.
should expect that. That's true. Um,
Yeah.
um, this guy, I guess I also made a note that he's kind of like Star Trek's Q without the fun and whimsy.
I mean,
Well,
I thought there
Q wants
was fun and whimsy. He's not intentionally trying to be whimsical. That's the difference.
yeah,
Is that
Q
he's
wants
trying
to
to be
play with you.
dead
This guy
serious.
wants to torture you and with
Yeah.
chains and airplanes.
There is something about I think there's just something about taking yourself super seriously that makes you the joke, and there's no way out of that. And I think that this guy crossed that line, and that's part of why this is so fun.
I
'Cause
do
I
like
think,
how there's like about a minute where it's like, well, is Baylor going to join their crew now?
yeah,
I mean,
it's almost
they need a new nuclear technician, I believe.
you think that for a second, and then you just realize that there are no recurring characters in the show ever,
Right.
including Mike Baxter. I was like, well, oh, I've never seen this guy before, but he's talking to Koenig. He's dead.
Well,
And I
Koenig
was
also
right.
calls him Jim. He calls him by his
Call
real
him
name, not
Jim.
by on the asteroid. He's like,
Did I
"Excuse me,
miss
Jim."
that? Weird. Why is that not in the trivia?
Well, now it is. I just
Okay.
amended the trivia for you.
I wish there was some way to audibly do an asterisk.
Mm. Oh, now we're the podcast that makes noises at each other. Okay.
I think we've crossed that line
Isn't
before
that your
too.
greatest fear? Yeah.
No, it's just the thing where just people make the same noises over and over and repeat things and repeat things and repeat things, then leave
And
long
repeat things,
silences,
and then repeat things.
and then repeat things and then repeat. Yeah, um, that just all the signs that you're tired of doing podcasts, so you're going to do anti-comedy, and then
Mm.
you should just stop at that point. But
You think this is
anyway,
funny, folks? You think I'm funny? Am I funny to you? You talking to me? I don't
oh,
see anyone else here.
this guy could be taxi driver.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
Um,
thinking about
what
that.
where is this rank? I've already declared my love for this episode. Where do you how do you feel about it?
But that's what I was saying. Like for me, it's kind of like Force of Life maybe was a little too dry for me. So I much prefer this version of a guy running around killing people for no particular reason.
Yeah,
It's just
it's
that's what he does. You know, it's like a Venus flytrap traps flies, right? So Baylor lures baits.
was like I compare him much more to like the what were the alien possessor guys? What was that one called?
Oh
Was
yeah,
it
yeah,
Alpha
yeah, yeah.
Child? Alpha
Oh
Child. Yeah, the Alpha Child guy, but Jarek, where
yeah, that guy sucked. Okay,
he was almost he was almost he was wearing almost nothing instead of wearing a big flowy black thing, but he was just like, I'm gonna take over.
and then
Instead
he
of and this guy, instead of saying I'm gonna possess everybody, he's just gonna torture everybody.
yeah.
It's pretty much the
Well,
same guy,
so in the
except
yeah.
he shows up differently.
Well, if we put him in a steel cage match, who do you think comes out?
I think him, right? Like Balor, like because because
I guess we
because
don't see
Jarek
Jarek do.
wasn't
He doesn't do so many
super duper
moves.
human.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I get this is
He was
basically
more
like
he
a
could control people. So
right.
if he could control Balor, then he's screwed.
Hmm.
Hmm.
See, that's
I
worth
guess we'll
thinking
never
about.
know.
That's we would have found out in season
If
3.
if this show was made now, like absolutely they would both show back up in
I
season
guess him
two.
and Jarek do stand out currently as the best villains of the show. I mean, we still got like the last enemy and war games
Yeah.
and stuff for some more funsies, but and who knows what's in season 2? I don't.
It's,
We'll find out. We might be disappointed. I don't know.
nope, nobody knows.
Nobody
It's the
knows.
future. It's the
No one's
future
ever
2000.
seen
We'll
this show
see.
past us. This also made me think a little bit the Black Mirror thing, the Alistair episode, which have you seen that?
No, I've only seen one episode of Black Mirror.
Same here, but it's that one, which is where the
Okay.
guy
I
has
only saw the one with the guy from Breaking Bad in it. With
that's
Jesse
where
Plemons.
that's where he recreates people he knows in his Star Trek simulation, but he just runs the place like a tyrant and tortures them and stuff. But they have like this weird
Wait,
sentience inside the machine.
is that the same one that I
Yeah,
saw?
maybe it's the same one you saw then. Okay, you forgot the name of the
That would be
ship.
weird.
Because well, there's like
Why?
this
Yeah, I don't
weird Black
remember what
Mirror
the name of the ship
that
was. I just
that was like
it
2013,
was the thing where
2014. So when they were like, hey, we're gonna make a TV episode that kind of looks like
oh
Star
yeah,
Trek, and in
yeah,
2013 everybody's like, we're on board, let's do it,
yeah,
because that was a very dry
yeah.
period
That's the one. It was
that sort of thing.
2017, but weird. we've both only seen the same episode.
Probably because we're both Trekkie
That's
geeks, and
weird.
that one was like,
Yeah.
catnip for Trekkie geeks.
Yeah, and the rest of whatever the rest of the series, I just haven't gotten around to watching it because I just don't watch things. But anyway,
So yeah, and my point is, I think him and Jarek are probably the top flight villains so far. I mean, do you agree, disagree? We, I mean,
yeah, I can't think of anybody better than those two.
we got people,
Well,
when
also
Peter
a lot
Cushing
of
and Christopher Lee showed up, they were like very like, you know, they
Christopher Lee
weren't.
wasn't a villain, and
That's my point.
I
They
mean
weren't,
the
and
yeah,
Cushing was like a conflicted villain, kind of. I mean, he was like an
yeah,
accidental villain, kind of.
and I don't even know if the Guardian of Puri counts because it was a robot that was left there by villains that just went crazy. But
And she was easy to
so
take out too, not like Baylor.
yeah, so anyway,
I do like
I
how
know
they
I
loony
was
how the solution is to Looney Tune him. They like just move the
yeah.
sign so he
They
walks out
pulled out
there.
the signs that said warning airlock were just stickers. That's just really hilarious. And there were multiple ones. You have to spend all this time with this music playing, watching Goni just pulling these stickers off. It was like, okay, you just show me one of them and I get it.
But this is
Um,
pretty much literally how Bugs Bunny would have dealt with the situation.
so but there's something that I know that I keep an eye on every second of every episode now, and I wonder if you've started taking note of this. The moment that Koenig says, "I don't know if I trust him," and he basically has that hunch. He's like, "I don't know." He goes on these tangents. He's like, "I don't know. Those paintings look scary. So like, why do you think that he actually?" And he's 100% correct.
Could that be
Did
a
did you think
red
about that at all?
flag?
If Koenig doesn't trust you even a little, then you're definitely like Satan. He's so correct about everything.
Well, he's a good judge of character. Some people just have that instinct. You meet someone and you already get the vibe if they're groovy or not. One of the groovy people.
He has brain plot armor,
I have plot armor on
I
my
guess.
brain. I like that. Yeah. Okay.
Plot armor on my brain. I don't know. But yeah, that is something I'm highly sensitive to now.
I
Which is
mean,
what would Koenig do?
a lot of sci-fi does that.
Yeah,
I
it
guess
just it feels so obvious here.
I guess Commander Admiral Adama in Battlestar gets more blowback for his decisions when he does that. But
Yeah, I still don't watch that yet.
yeah. I mean,
I told you
Picard,
why I didn't watch it, right?
I think you did, but I've forgotten. I guess you could say
It
it
was
again if you wanted to.
because they kept saying fracking so much that it annoyed me because I was like, just no one actually curses this much. And then also I have to filter that through my brain.
Oh, okay.
I thought I was annoyed at how many times they said fracking.
What's a real word now? That's how they find oil in the ground too, and that's a pretty bad
Yeah,
thing. So that's an obscenity
terrible.
to Mother Nature. So it
Yeah.
works.
Well, I was upset with all the fracking.
Yeah. Okay.
It's sad.
Fracking mess. Um, that's how you become a truly annoying podcast, is to use that for every other word
Use
for
that.
for a,
Yeah.
for a
Oh,
podcast that has nothing to do with
God.
well, it's a sci-fi. It has that to do with it, I guess. But yeah,
Nah, I
no,
know. I
no.
don't like it. I think you should just not use curse words if you're gonna. I think if you're gonna use curse words, you should just use them, and if you aren't, then you should just not use them because you can say a lot of things. Maybe just use different words.
Like fracking.
Like, yeah, but no, like also use frickin' and frickin'. I don't know. Frocking.
I think dang is a good pseudo obscenity.
I like
Man,
things
you're
like son of
dang
a whore.
stupid. Dang stupid, man. You're just a dang guy. That's
I
what you
like things
said to
like gutter
Baylor.
snipe. Like you should just use words that sound. There are a lot of words that are not technically curse words that sound very interesting.
um.
You should
Oh,
throw your wife into an acid bath. See, look, that's just say things like that.
well, now you're doing the Austin Powers thing where like, hey, look, it's a, and then they cut to the next scene where someone says, melons or
I
whatever.
will disintegrate your colon.
Mm. Okay, sure.
You
Is that
know,
an enema?
maybe I should write. Maybe I should write these
Is
instead of
that
letting.
what the enema doctor says? Is that a
Yes.
doctor? Do proctologists give you enemas? I don't know.
Good evening. I will disintegrate your colon. Just puts a mask on you immediately.
How do
Uh,
you feel with that said? Is that cool? Are you like, yeah, go for
I
it?
mean, that's what I came for.
Okay, there we go. Another villain that Baylor made me think of was Megamind because we were watching that last week. My
Yeah, I
wife
haven't seen
like
that either.
forced us. My wife like forced us to watch Megamind because Hannah and I wanted to watch something else, and she's like, "No, we're watching Megamind." So we saw
Aren't you
Megamind.
guys both kind of obsessed with Megamind?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Or all three of you?
No, I'm not saying. Well, Hannah wasn't familiar with Megamind. She had forgotten it, which is why
Oh,
um
okay.
my
You
wife was
must
so
remember
obsessed about
Megamind.
putting it on. That right? She was like, "You got to remember Megamind."
That also sounds cooler than fracking.
But he has his designer capes, so he kind of moves around like Baylor. You're talking about the making choices
Yeah.
as you move. That's another good villain for doing that sort of thing.
Yeah. And I feel like Jarek he moved, he was kind of accentuating how naked he was.
Yeah, he just kind of stands there, saying things that are threatening. He's more
He's,
buff too. That's why he wasn't wearing much,
yeah.
right? I didn't get the impression
Well,
that Baylor was like, a ripped or anything.
they both use their
Cut, not ripped.
physicality.
The cut.
Yeah. They used their physicality in a very interesting expert actor way. Expert actor? Is that a word?
Sure.
Good
Acting
actor.
good actor. That's a
Good
good
actor.
actor.
Yay.
Would you
Have
like
a
a doggy
treat.
treat?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I'm giving him a doggy treat, but yeah, what are you giving the actor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Quaaludes.
Oh, I guess in the '70s that makes sense.
Yep.
That was a good take, man. Here's your Reds.
I think Balor is more likely on ketamine, but
Mm.
or something.
But yeah, I guess he's like a raven. He looks a little bit like Edgar Allan Poe without a mustache and
Yeah.
like a
I hadn't thought
bird.
of that.
So I don't know if that's important or not. It's just a random. I mean, the thing about
I
this
mean,
episode is there's not like there's not like a philosophical debate here. It's just like,
nope.
Prick shows up on Moonbase Alpha, starts killing people. They shove him into an airlock. That's no, he walks into an airlock.
But the thing is, of course, the thing is, of course, he has to take a bunch of time to explain why. but his argument isn't like Jarek's, where he's trying to say like, why shouldn't we be able to take your bodies? His argument is, look, you should just give up because I'm going to take over your ship.
Yeah, he's just like, I like to torture people. And now I'm here, and that's just what's gonna. I mean, he has like they added it that exposition of motivation and stuff. I guess. Well, they didn't really. They added exposition. They didn't really add motivation, did they? Except for maybe
No,
like this guy's cray
but
cray.
I think his motivation was he liked torturing people. I don't know how much you could really flesh that out. It's like, oh, I was tortured as a child and I really liked it. I don't know.
So he didn't
Um,
make the paintings, like the
I think he
planet.
did.
Oh, I thought they said in the end like the citizens of his planet put the paintings in to remind him of what he had done or something.
Well, then why didn't he just tear them up? Maybe he liked watching them. Maybe he liked looking at them.
Yeah, yeah, maybe made. Yeah, that's not the thing to really get stuck on, I suppose. Now, what I
Hmm.
did like is where they like make the connection that Dead Baxter looks like the paintings as Dead Baxter's across the room going.
Well, it's because Koenig saw it. So it's absolutely right. And not only that, but I mean, Koenig could have confronted him and said, and then he could have just said, that's ridiculous. And he just stays on there for another year and then just starts messing with people. It's not like he was also very his whatever his plan was stupid. It's like, let me tell you what I'm going to do.
Well, I think he really did just want to event Horizon the place. I mean,
Yeah,
that
it's
seems to
just
be the end of. That's why he's like, like I was like, is that or he's a Cenobite, because that's
yeah.
there's just like I like to watch blood and suffering. So, are you ready to surrender to the exquisite forces of pain and suffering?
Sure. I came to
Okay,
this colonoscopy for a reason, and that's why. Now
I came to
destroy
this.
my colon. I mean, disintegrate my colon. I already forgot my own joke.
Oh well, what can you do?
But but yeah, this his plan. I guess this whole thing is he's just really cocky, but it's also again with the Koenig being super great thing. It's kind of ridiculous that he was even able to land one punch because Fowler basically took out like 18 guys.
Well, he gets some, he gets at least a little experience punching in most episodes. He was just having that punch up in the last sunset, right? So he likes
Yeah, I
punching
mean he
people,
won. He won that fight pretty handily. He's obviously the strongest person there
right?
somehow.
So he's currently having, he's his ego is low out of check.
Is that how you become the captain?
Yes,
Do you think in
that,
Star Trek that the strongest character should be the captain?
well, they do that in the mirror universe.
Yeah, but that's not real because if uh, if the if the universe is different, then you wouldn't have the same parents, so you wouldn't exist.
You're
So
thinking
mirror
about too much.
universe
Shut up. You're thinking
is
about too much.
void.
Shut up.
It's all fake. It's
We
a
go.
holodeck
We're going.
program.
We're going back to the mirror universe like 5 times in one series.
No. God, I
I
was
don't.
so glad that Voyager never did that.
I would like to see Space 1999 do that once though. That's the thing with the mirror universe. It's great once,
Yeah,
It's
you
just
do it one time.
yeah.
And the only way that it works is that the two universes converged, I don't know, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Cannot be that the world, looking at you too, Fringe, cannot be that the whole world developed differently over the course of the past 10 billion years and then you have the same parents. There's just another you there. That doesn't make any sense.
You
None.
just you just don't
Zero.
understand time enough. You're not a chronologist. Is that the
I'm not Damon Lindelof.
what would be the scientist that studies time, man?
Stephen Hawking.
No, he studies.
Uh,
He was a physicist. I'm talking about like
I don't
just
know.
like
Walter Kronos.
yes. There's the
I
character
am
of your
Walter Kronos.
yeah.
There's one of you in another universe. All of you, except that one guy who's dead.
They call me the timekeeper.
Yes. Reginald Timekeeper.
Maybe he'll show up in next
Astro
week's Space
chronophysicist.
1999. That's
Yeah,
someone who
sure. I
shows
mean,
up on
there
the
could
moon
be.
base. He's just been working in the garbage compactor for the past 6 months or whatever.
So it really seems like ITC New York just kind of wanted this to be like Batman villains, like in this, right? That's kind of
Yeah.
what they
Well,
want. Because this is
uh,
a Batman villain for real.
yeah, yeah. Did I make a note about that for this or something else? I might have written that down. I don't remember.
And I'm not complaining because this is still like, at least the third best episode of this series. And I think my other two, like, I don't know, most of my favorite ones have just had some guy who menaces everyone.
Oh, the first time he gets up and does his arm spread, I thought he wanted like a Doctor Evil hug or something.
Yeah, there's a bunch of that.
Also, I do like the use
Um,
the kill ray. Like they just call it the kill. It's not even set to kill in this episode. It's like use the kill ray. Everybody's got to
yeah,
pack a kill ray.
I took down that part of yeah. Oh, that's right. Part of the whole thing where he lectured Koenig at the very beginning, he says, "Who are you to judge who is sane and who is not?" And then he starts explaining why he's going to torture everyone. It's
Well,
so
if you're asking yourself if you're crazy, that's when you know you aren't. So he clearly
I don't
didn't
think
ask
he's
himself
asking.
that. No, he's
Yeah,
not
I don't think he's
asking.
asking.
He's
He's
just
telling. He's telling you he's sane. And there's also a line which I thought was extremely dumb, but thought it was smart. Was Koenig says, "What do you do about a killer who can't be killed?" It's like, you know what I mean? That's
that's
not profound. A
that's
killer. What do you
philosophical.
do about a killer who can't be killed?
You stay away, but
There's
they
no
can't
fil-
stay
There's no.
away because they're on a moon base.
But I mean, I don't know. It feels like whoever wrote that thought that it was something that it isn't.
He's the cheaper version of a xenomorph. They're stuck on the station with him.
Well, what do you do when you want to die but you can't be killed? That's different. That's philosophical. Why is the most beautiful person also the angriest?
Hmm.
Okay, that's not great, but it's still better than what do you do about a killer who can't be killed?
Well, he runs the place. You don't argue. You're like, yeah, that's profound, man. Don't
and
punch
then
me. Don't scream
then
at me.
later Koenig shows up as this Balor's a cold-blooded killer. Like, wow, really? Are you telling people this for the first time? Uh
Well, I guess we'll put the split on this episode. The sci-fi fun versus existential dread.
well, I can't say it's 100% fun because there's all that scary stuff in it.
With the
And
paintings.
this guy is clear, yeah, and this guy is clearly a very formidable adversary. So I'm going to go 66.6% fun and then 33.4% existential dread.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna go with 100% fun. I mean, we've got the monster of the week, which is a middle-aged man
Yeah.
floating around in flowing black robes. I'm like, there's nothing particularly. I mean, even if you, I'm wondering. It's been so long since I've seen Hellraiser. I guess that has the existential dread of just like studying something until it, starts to pull you apart with
well,
hooks.
Well,
Uh,
the difference between this and Hellraiser or Event Horizon is that those characters can do things like disappear into portals and reappear out of portals. This guy can't just teleport, but he can just beat you to death or make you hit someone with an airplane until you freeze into scary face.
that
That's
makes them more realistic,
yeah, it's a very grounded villain.
but not.
No, it's not. It's not.
He's
No, but
grounded, but he isn't.
I still think, like Jarek, this is a formidable enemy that would generally, if you had to deal with this guy, you'd be scared. You
Oh
know,
yeah, you
it's like
definitely don't want him in your kitchen.
yeah, they came really close to not getting rid of him. I guess it's clearly they can't just beat him to death.
But and there's where any existential dread goes out the window. The aforementioned bugs Bugs Bunny solution to getting rid of Valor. So if there was any
Yeah, I
dread, that erased it for me. I'm like, this is maybe like okay. Well, we just did the full circle. I'm like, which one's goofier? This one's more violent, of course.
I I think that was goofier because it didn't make any sense.
And they were
Like this, at
grunting a lot.
least.
Okay,
The
Barbara
thing
Payne made that
is,
one goofier, I guess.
the only episode of this that has reached for anything complicated that has worked for me has been the cave
Last,
one, the
last
last,
sunset.
no, the final the one with the smoldering skeleton at the end.
Oh, Death's Other Dominion.
Death's Other Dominion. um all the ones that I've liked other than that have been very simple,
Which
and
is
but
the
not too
thing
simple.
they mention in here. They call out like we know people can be immortal because we did that a few weeks ago. So that's
Yeah,
nice. That
that's
they.
one of the only, yeah, that is listed in the trivia as one of the only times that they acknowledge that anything else has ever happened
I mean,
aside from the first episode.
70s TV continuity, is not the tightest ship in the world.
Yeah, it's not supposed, they're just aiming for syndication. They don't want you to miss to want to watch an order.
Yes.
Don't
Uh,
watch an order.
Well, do you have any other big points you want to put on this one? This is one, yeah, it's like it was fun to watch. I'd recommend this. I wouldn't like hatchet cut it or anything if I was, saving time on Space 1999, but there's not that much
Oh,
to say about it other than like, hey, what do you think of Baylor, man?
oh, um, the note I put in is that he's a lot like here. He's got a lot of Garrick vibes. Like he
He's a
felt
lot
kind
like
of like
me.
evil Garrick.
For the
Like this
first
guy would,
15 minutes when he hasn't fully started killing people yet, I can see that. But again,
yeah.
Garrett's more fun though, Maybe
Well,
Gul
that's the thing. He's
Dukat. Are
evil
you
Garrick.
you're not mixing with Gul Dukat, are you? I feel
No,
like
no, no,
okay.
no. This I'm talking
Okay.
about just the performance,
Hmm.
not necessarily the character or his motivations, but the like he reminds me of Andrew Robinson, which also is the Hellraiser link. Who he played the guy who was Uncle Frank wearing the
Okay.
skin of
I guess it's like I find Andrew Robinson very charming, where this guy is like anti-charming, which is very entertaining in the
yeah.
context of this episode.
I think if Andrew Robinson played this character, he would have done a lot of the same stuff. I think he would have. I think he would have made because his whole like.
He would have done
I think
Ghost
one of the
Arms half
nicest.
the episode.
One of the best things I could say about him is that a lot of, and I mean, obviously I love Star Trek, but a lot of actors on Star Trek do not commit to making an alien character truly alien. But Garrick was always an alien. He was like a weird insect guy, basically. And that's this guy is sort of the same vibes where he is being alien. And that rules because I think a lot of people just want to show up and be like a guy.
So he's truly, yeah, he definitely does not, even though he looks like a guy, he acts like a freak. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's
looks like a
great. I mean,
guy, acts like a freak. I like that. Okay.
looks like a guy. So do you think that the entire thing with Balor being evil was just a way to sort of make up for the fact that they blew him up at the beginning, which felt like a war crime basically?
Yeah, I was wondering why NASA hasn't properly blown up an asteroid yet, you know?
They found a door, they didn't knock on the door or anything, they just blew it up.
Yeah.
But it's okay now because it turns out he was evil.
I mean, they're just right. Well, they're just passing by these things. They don't have time to check everything, you know? They'll be passed in like 3 days or running into it, I guess.
Well, I guess we'll see him again. And there was actually someone wrote a novel that was a sequel to this episode, but I didn't put it in the trivia because that stuff annoys me. I'm sorry to everyone who loves the books.
That's
I'm
their
just like,
favorite
come
book.
on. I like I like I like things you can watch, but then I don't know.
Okay, here's a final point I have. Like, I put a note that the credits preview in this one is like, oh, this guy's gonna suck, which is not clear when the credits are rolling, except that the credits decide to show you that. This might be one of
Yeah,
the most spoilery episodes in terms of the flash forwards. Um, good
I
thing or
skipped
bad
it.
thing? You
I
skipped
skipped
it?
it.
Oh, I never
I
skipped the
always
credits.
I usually skip the credits because I'm trying to get through it really fast.
Right. Okay. So anyway, I thought this one, like, if you watch that or don't watch it, very changes the flavor because it's more of a slow, moody buildup without it. Whereas if you've seen it, it's just like, it's just like I'm waiting for the slasher movie to get going.
I think that I think they shouldn't do that. I don't think that I don't unless trailers are very well cut. I don't watch trailers anymore. Like I don't want spoilers. So I don't agree with the artistic choice to add a bunch of clips from the episode you're about to watch in the opening credits.
But that's not a trailer. That's in the proper show. That so it
Yep.
technically fits the mode of storytelling of the show.
Well, it's almost worse because you're getting things that you're just about to see already. It's like what do you call that when you read an article and then part of the article is quoted in big giant text that's in the middle of the article?
Oh,
Like
I
a
guess
pull quote or
highlight.
something. I hate
Yeah.
it. I
Okay.
hate it because I have to read it twice. Like let me just read it when I get to it.
Okay. No, I know it's a contentious thing. Same with the Battlestar reboot, which also would do the flash forwards. I
Hmm.
like them personally, but yeah, I know plenty of
I,
people don't. Battlestar
I
did
think I'm in
better.
the
They had the
minority, but
taiko drums. Yeah.
oh, I like taiko drums. But yeah, I don't like I want to be surprised by things. If I know I'm going to watch a movie, I'll do everything I can to avoid seeing a trailer. I haven't watched the Furiosa trailer yet. I'm going to watch the movie. I didn't watch the Godzilla minus one trailer.
Well, I haven't seen. Oh, I saw
Anyway,
Godzilla minus one because in Japan, of course, they had been showing it before every movie for 6 months before.
oh yeah. Well, yeah. I also haven't really been going to the theater much.
um,
But
I guess
when I do, I get there late
I guess
to
we'll
avoid
dial this
trailers.
one down, dial it down. My brain isn't working because I woke up too early for this, so you're in charge of that today. The thing that finishes this.
Hey, welcome to 6:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where my brain is working. You can find us on podcast. Yeah, my brain's working great.
Good job.
Patreon.com/podcast. Yes, you throw us money, your service bills, get outtakes, get links to our other podcasts like Films and Filth, Citizen Kane of Podcasting, Luke Loves Pokemon, Game Show, Time Enough, Twilight Zone podcast, a Cult Disney podcast, Hyrule Field Report.
Very
And
good. I think you did it.
that is all of
That is.
them.
You could name this one again. You've done that a few times actually.
And this one
This one, yes.
podcast 1999.
Well, you drug that
I
out.
could not, couldn't think of anything good to do.
Okay,
So I
everyone. Well,
just slowly said it.
don't be a Baylor.
Yeah, stay in your asteroid.
The recording